Hey guys, and welcome to the 7th episode of Sent Off Stories. I'm joined here again with Ollie.
What's up?
Today we're going to do a little roundup of the international break games. I don't know how everyone else is feeling about it, but I'm over it.
Yeah, man.
I'm ready for the top 5 leagues to come back. I'm ready just for football to come back in general. Like, the international breaks a laugh, but are we really sitting down to watch these games? They're
No.
vaguely interesting, and if one's on, I'll chuck it on. But other than that,
Yeah.
we got a bit of a general roundup as well. There's been a little bit going on, but we'll get into that. And then we've got just some New Zealand football roundup as well.
Yeah. Cheeky short episode, I reckon. There's
Yeah.
not really been too much going on because
Nah,
of
it
Prem
is the
break.
international break, yeah.
So, yeah,
can we
we've
do?
found a few things.
Sweet. So we've just got the little roundup, obviously. First game that we looked at was Portugal versus Bosnia. That was 5-0. Not much going on there. But
Yeah.
Ronaldo Brace, he's the world top goal scorer in 2023.
I don't know how I feel about that, eh? Like,
Are we counting the Saudi League? Like,
yeah, I don't know, man. He's getting a lot of credit online still, but it's like
yeah.
Haaland's one goal behind him playing in the Prem.
Yeah. I don't think we can really count Messi and Ronaldo anymore in terms of like goal involvements and stuff, unless you're looking at what they're doing
Yeah.
internationally, because the quality of football in those leagues.
No offense, but yeah, I don't even
Full
know what's
offense.
40 goals this year for him
I think so.
so
yeah.
far. Which, like,
That's mental,
It's good,
but-
but
It's the Saudi League and international breaks.
yeah.
And then we've got England versus Italy. This was a pretty good game. That was 3-1. Bellingham just continuing his form. Like, what more can we say on it? He's probably the best midfielder in the world right now.
So good, man.
He's ridiculously good and can play anywhere in that attacking role, it seems, and he kind of
Yeah.
just pops up constantly.
Yeah.
He got an assist and had a great performance. And then Kane bagged a brace as well, but Kane just doing Kane things, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, one of them was a pen, wasn't it? Or with
Yeah,
both
I
of them?
think so.
I think one was a pen. So he's definitely solidified him being the English top scorer.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
one we spoke about in last week's episode, Wales versus Croatia. Wales won 2-1. Wales are ranked 33rd in the world and Croatia are ranked 6th. So
Surprising, eh?
a little bit of good ball knowledge from us there with our predictions.
I don't even remember what we said.
I think we just said it was cool seeing these British sides that are
Oh, yeah.
slowly sorting things out, it seems.
No, we were just, ball knowledge is crazy.
Yeah, to be fair,
Oh, man. But to be fair, like, on a real though, Croatia recently have not been that great.
nah, I think it's that generation that's slowly falling out, like Modric, Rakitic,
Mandzukic,
all those,
Yeah.
all the itches. They're just all the bros.
All the itches.
Yeah, they're slowly falling out, and it's kind of sad to see. But they had their prime, they had their time at the top,
Yeah.
and there was no way they were gonna. I don't think there was a chance of them winning a title. Like, it just wasn't going to happen with the quality of other sides. But they had their heyday. They got a second. They got a third. Like,
To be fair, finishing second in a World Cup for Croatia is mental.
ridiculous. And then huge clash between Denmark and San Marino.
Thrilling.
San Marino are the worst team in the world. Lowest rank. They weren't for a little while, but I can't remember who it was. There was another team that was ranked below them somehow, but they hadn't played a game in like 4 years. So,
Oh, right.
yeah. San Marino actually equalised in this game. It was the first goal they've scored in 12 games, I believe. Yeah. They
Jesus
don't
wept.
they don't put many goals in the back of the net.
No. I didn't think they would be the lowest. I mean, I've seen some pretty shocking teams, but that sounds
They're
terrible.
not good. They really aren't good. Yeah, so San Marino equalised, and then Denmark went on to win. I think Poulsen went on and scored the winner in the 70th. Like, I think it was 10 minutes after San Marino scored, so it was short lived to say the least.
Paulson's good, man.
Yeah,
Like,
Is
really
he still
good.
at Leipzig or?
Yeah, I think so.
And then Hoyland, my striker, he bagged the first goal of the game and then got targeted all game apparently.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that yesterday, eh?
Yeah, he so obviously from his time in Italy, he can speak a bit of Italian. So
Yeah.
he apparently heard the players going on and on all game about how they're going to like crunch him and just take him out the whole time. And it's like,
Ah, man.
it's Euro qualifiers.
Sounds like our Sunday footy games.
Yeah. Getting wiped out all game. Call me
Wait.
Ireland.
Oh, is San Marino, so they speak Italian there?
Let's have a gander, actually.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
got no Wi-Fi. They do?
it looks like it.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Where? Oh, I wonder why, bro. Because it's a tiny ass country and
Like bordering
in
Italy.
It's
Oh.
inside Italy.
Well, there you go.
It makes sense.
Good from us. Well, they're so rubbish. I don't take much attention to them at all.
What's the next one? Ukraine Malta, a 3-1 win for
Mudrik's
Kyle's
boys.
boy.
Yeah.
Mudrik.
Shout out Kyle. I won't disrespect him this time. I won't. I'm not going to say any of the nicknames. He had a great performance, and the goal he scored was quality. Him and
Great
Mikolenko
goal.
played really good on that left side. If they fill out the side around them, they could be a little bit of a dark horse, especially if
Yeah.
Mudrik becomes what he's meant to become, which is a superstar. But
But I just don't think Ukraine have the talent as a
nah,
squad.
they don't. Nah, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting one to keep in the back of the mind, I think.
The next one that we've got is something I really wanted to talk about. The Belgium-Sweden game in the Euros that had to be called off at half-time. I don't know if any of you guys had heard about that, but it's pretty big in the media right now.
Yeah, it's pretty mental. It's a sad story, but
Yeah.
like I don't think we've seen something like this happen in a little while, and with everything else going on in the world right now, it's pretty it's not eye-opening, but I think it's just a hard-hitting one.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, right before kickoff of that game, 2 Swedish people were killed by a guy. I don't know who the person is.
I think he was Tunisian, and
Tunisian.
revealed in a video later he had ties to the Islamic State or something.
Okay, so it was a terrorist
yeah,
attack.
and they were put on the highest terror alert.
Yeah. So 2 Swedish people. I'm not sure if they were fans, but
They were wearing Sweden shirts, so I presume so.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got killed right before the game, which is stink. I'm surprised that they still played the first half because
I think it hadn't got out there properly yet. I think it must have been kept pretty under wraps with just like it's a shooting in the city. They don't know what's happened with it. They hadn't had a chance to investigate it properly.
Yeah,
And then when it got word to the players and stuff at halftime, I think they took half an hour and they just went, "We're not doing this. We're not coming out for
Yeah.
the second half," which is completely
Fair enough.
understandable.
I mean, especially because it was in Brussels and Belgium.
Yeah.
and like they've gone there, Sweden have. So
I think it would have been a bad look if they went out there and played the second half, if I'm being completely honest.
yeah, totally fair. But
Yeah, that was our last one on the roundup of international break games. Pretty
Yeah.
sad way to round it out, but I think these
It's
things
football.
need to have attention brought to them, and
Yeah.
I think it's a really good sign that the team stopped and they pulled it
Mm.
out and they didn't just go on and play the rest of the game out, because that's not the way to do it. That wouldn't
Yeah.
have been the way to do it.
I mean, to be fair, they like you said, I feel like they kind of had to.
Yeah,
For one, it's their
100%.
own nation, but you can't give them the credit or not credit or recognition, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like they can't just go out and keep playing and just pass over it. over that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then we've got a bit of a general roundup. There's been a few interesting things popping up. So Sandro Tonali and Nicolo Fagioli were investigated for gambling in football. Yeah. I don't know what to say on that. It's pretty interesting. Fagioli he's going to be fined 12,500 euros, and he's undergoing 6 months of therapy, as well as a 7th month ban from football.
Yeah.
He admitted not betting on Juventus games. He's a Juventus player, strictly other football, but still, like,
Man, I feel like it's just at this point you just add more to the tally.
yeah,
I mean, we can mention Tony in a bit, but
yeah.
yeah,
It's just strange, like,
it is strange.
and it's not strange in a way because it is an addiction, and if people have that addiction, it's not just a case of they've got the money, why don't they just stop gambling?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not how it works
yeah.
in the slightest.
It's the whole thrill of it, eh?
Yeah,
And even if
100%.
you're a football player, like, you hear about gambling in football so much.
Yeah, it used to be a really prevalent thing, and now it's kind of gone under wraps, but clearly not as much as we think, because we've obviously had Tony come out. We've had these two stories now. Like, it is just mental.
I saw that Fagioli, however you say his name, kind of put the blame on Tonali as well, saying that he was the reason he got into it.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I saw
Which
people
is
saying
crazy.
like, oh, he snitched on him and stuff, and it's like,
Well, I mean,
know.
he's only 22 though, so like that's pretty young to get.
yeah, that's like
know?
only a year older than us. It's mental.
Yeah.
Tonali is waiting for a decision currently. Newcastle have chosen not to make a comment, which is probably fair enough while they investigate. His agent revealed he has a gambling addiction. That was the main comment I saw that came out, and he's still in contention for the game this weekend.
That's
which is
surprising.
Interesting.
I feel like they would have at least removed him from contention until they've discovered what's going on. But
I don't like the way that it's been, at least for Tonali, that he's been kind of supported through the whole thing. Like, obviously he needs to be supported. Don't get me wrong. That's not a Tonali doesn't deserve the support, because 100% he does. This is like a huge issue.
Yeah.
He needs to be given the support he needs to get through it. But in the way Tony was instantly dropped a ban, instantly taken out of the side, like it was a mess compared to this, and it's quite sad that
it raises some flags, eh?
Yeah. I don't know if it's what it could be. Like, there's obviously a overarching thing that we won't mention, but we know it could be.
Yeah.
As well as, is it a Newcastle thing? Newcastle are a huge side now. Well, they always have been a huge side, but obviously they're back in it. But it's honestly just sad. Like, the whole situation is sad, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with it now and how they come out of it, because Fagioli, I will be interested to see what happens after his 7 months, whether he's straight back into Juventus and they support him with the recovery, or they go, we'll loan you out, we'll sell you.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably one of the harder things for clubs, to be honest, is kind of deciding once there's been scandals, like do we risk keeping someone in the team despite maybe getting slandered online?
Yeah.
Or do we just get rid of them? Because I feel like that's probably the easier route out.
Yeah, and I think if they've served their time, it makes it easier for them to deal with it. Like, they can reintegrate them back into the side, but at the same time, like, is that something you want to stay associated with as well? It's interesting. It depends how morally sound these clubs are, to be honest.
I mean, you'd kind of hope they are, given how big they are. Like,
yeah, it will be interesting.
yeah.
Speaking about clubs that have not been morally sound lately, Manchester United. I'm a United fan, but the whole situation with Greenwood is just it leaves a sour taste in the mouth. I'll be honest, and I think a lot of things need to change in the club, but that is another story. So the Sancho situation is still going on. Sancho's being urged by teammates, English teammates especially, like Rashford, Maguire, Shaw, all those boys are heavy on him about it.
Yeah.
He's being urged to apologise to avoid being transfer listed in the upcoming January window, and I don't see him going anywhere in terms of top sides. I think it'll probably be a Saudi move or something if he does go anywhere, because it just seems like his attitude's just not there.
Yeah.
And clearly he needs help with it, but he got given like 2 months off mid-season last year. Like, it's you don't know what's happening with it. Like, no one can comment on a lot of the background things, and that's why I want to be careful with it and like not go. Like, you can say his attitude's rubbish, but do we really know all of it? Like, there's conflicting stories constantly.
I feel like there must be something going on though, because we mentioned in one of our previous podcasts him at Dortmund as well.
Yeah, there were really bad stories attitude. There.
So like, if this is still reoccurring, what is the right decision to do though?
Yeah,
because I kind of side with Ten Hag in a way.
100%. Like, you're the manager.
Yeah, you need to respect the manager. I think it was poor form from Sancho.
And the worst thing is he probably had a clean run into the side after that, because that was when Antony was getting investigated.
Yeah.
And that was Sancho's run of like 5 games where he could have come and solidified himself as the starting right winger, put in the work.
Yeah.
Instead he posted that, and that ended it. and will
Yeah.
probably end his United career, if I'm being honest.
It'll actually be pretty sad if he does get a transfer to some smaller club
Yeah,
like
because
Saudi.
the potential was ridiculous with him. He was
He's like
matching Messi's
24?
stats. Yeah,
Man.
like
Young man,
I don't even know, is he 24?
23.
Yeah.
Like he is so young to just throw his career away if United choose to not keep him.
Yeah. And then United women were knocked out this morning in the Champions League by PSG, 3-1. That was a pretty big game.
Yeah,
I saw some
big
of the
sides.
United boys I'm in a group chat with on Twitter going on about it, and
yeah.
it didn't seem like we played well, to
I
be
mean,
honest.
what was that? Only the second round,
Yeah.
which is a bit stink to have an early knockout,
Yeah.
but
I'd like to get more into the is it the WSL?
I think so.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to get more into it, especially after the World Cup. It's made me want to watch it. I think it's hard enough to watch the men's games on the weekend with the timings.
Yeah.
But I think with stuff like this, I should probably be watching like the Champions League, the early morning games. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be up going to work or up going to Wintec anyway, like,
Slap it on for a bit.
yeah, what's stopping me?
Next, we've got some big news, actually. Neymar, this morning, or I think it was yesterday, tore his ACL and meniscus in the Brazil vs Uruguay game. Very disappointing.
Yeah.
He's 31. Like, he's getting on. Obviously, he moved to Al Hilal, so, like, luckily he's not, taking a massive hit in Europe.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty gutting, man.
Yeah, I think the move to Saudi was probably an obvious sign that his career was it's on the back burner. He's still a superstar, but it's on the back burner in terms of the level of football he's playing. But
Yeah.
I don't know what this is going to look like for him now, because
Yeah.
that's a huge injury. That'll be 9 months to a year, you presume. Depends what they can do for him, but
Do you think he'll actually definitely try to come back, though? Because he'll be coming back to Al Hilal. I don't know how long he's staying there, but that's a big knock.
yeah, it depends what he wants to do in terms of whether he's got another World Cup in him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he might
True.
push to keep playing just to get one more World Cup in.
I feel like he's probably at the age where he can.
Yeah, I think so, but I think this is a huge injury that might take a hit on that.
Yeah.
It's-
He also got injured in the World Cup last year. He
Yeah.
had to go out for, what was it, a couple games because
Yeah.
he injured his ankle. Like, he's been pretty rough, or unlucky, I mean, in his career.
Yeah, it's sad. It is really sad, because Neymar is an entertainer. Like,
Yeah,
he is
yeah.
the entertainment factor in football. Like, people will say what they want about him diving and the way he plays, but like, you're gonna have football players like that, especially in
Yeah.
the modern game. And I'd rather watch someone do that than, like, I'd rather Neymar try and rainbow flick someone, get knocked over, and then fall on the ground, than someone that's just gonna try and do a feint, fall over, and then go on the
Exactly.
ground. Like, at least Neymar's doing. He's
It makes the
exciting.
game interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And when he's at his form, oh my god,
man.
ridiculous footballer.
Yeah.
We got a little New Zealand football roundup just for the end of this episode. Just a little short one today. We've had a fairly busy week with the way our end of semester's going. We're getting on.
Yeah, 4 weeks left, I think?
Yeah.
3 or 4. It's not long.
Mental, actually mental. So the Soccer Ashes, that was yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was yesterday morning. 2-0 loss to Australia. Need more from the All Whites, if being honest, but Sarpreet Singh not playing is a miss. It's a really big
Yeah.
miss. It's huge playmaking not there, but
Why did he miss?
I think he just had a slight injury.
Oh, okay.
I think we couldn't handle their press. We fielded quite an attacking side, but who knows? I think we need to improve, but we also need to get more games played, and that's what's happening at the moment. Like, it's not going to come instantly.
I feel like it's a pretty standard scoreline at the moment between Aussie and New Zealand.
Exactly. Like, you'd rather that than a 4-0 or something.
Yeah.
And then we got 2 more friendlies next month anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I saw somewhere that the Ireland game, we might end up playing their A team. Yeah,
Really?
because I think in the way the qualifiers work, it's weird, but they'll look like they want to lose their last game for better qualification.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the
okay.
way it works is they'll get put into better seeding, I presume,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they lose that last game, and that's 3 days before the game against New Zealand. So they might field a rubbish team and then
Yeah.
field their A against New Zealand, which would be...
It'd be a
cool,
good game.
bro. It would be so cool.
Oh man, I don't really want to think of the scoreline, but we actually could put up a good...
Put up a fight, come
Yeah.
on. I think we've played them before, like years ago, bro. Like early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's just cool playing these top European nations. I think
don't
it's
really
so
get to,
cool. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then the Wellington Phoenix women had their first game last weekend. Narrow lost 1-0 to Melbourne City. Wilkinson, New Zealand striker, scored. A completely different side from last season though. Like, we performed quite well. I think we played some really good football. There's some quality players in the side, like people taking them on, just looking to link up. It's really good.
But what do you mean? She scored in a 1-0?
Yeah, Wilkinson. She plays for Melbourne City.
Oh, did she? Ah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I think we'll be a lot better this year, and I'm pretty sure City are quite a strong side. I think they're up the top in terms of the women's league as well. So we'll see what happens with it now. I'm quite excited. I think there's a double header this weekend that leads into my next one for the Wellington Phoenix men kicking off their season this weekend, playing against the Wanderers. Be interesting to see what happens. People don't have high hopes for the Wanderers, but people don't have high hopes for us.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how we are this season.
Yeah, especially with all the young boys coming in, and it looks like we've made a little bit of a change to the culture and things at the club. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. I'm excited for a weekend of sport, to be honest. I think the Breakers are back as well. So
Big
yeah,
weekend.
Breakers back from their NBA. Little NBA trip. So yeah, big weekend of sport.
And Prem back.
Yeah,
Big weekend.
big weekend. So you got United playing at 8 Sunday morning,
Yeah.
and then Wellington Phoenix women and men playing the same day. It'd be a good day.
Class.
And then day off on Monday.
Oh yeah, how good. The long weekend, man.
I love it.
Thank God.
All right. So I think that's us for today. We filled in a little bit of stuff for you guys. I think this one was quite informative. It's been one of our more informative ones with news in general.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not bad to just catch up on the news, to be honest. It's not extremely interesting, but some of these stories are pretty big
Yeah,
right now.
and even
so-
just chat about them. Like, we haven't
Yeah.
had proper chats about these, I don't think. So
No, it's been good.
it's good for us as well as the podcast.
Yeah, so what's that? Few more episodes left. I think we're planning on doing a couple more, and then it's kind of crunch time for the last few weeks of
Yeah.
Wintec. So we're gonna try pump out a few more for you guys.
We'll keep you posted anyway. We'll let you know what's happening.
Check the Instagram.
Yeah,
Probably put out a post sometime later this week.
exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.